enjoying the stream?
I think you guys are amazing. And
yeah, sweet.
Yes, it would be fair to say I am.
Awesome. We're trying our best, and we had a little bit of time to get ready, but the thing I like about this team that I've been working with is they do some really good things out of nowhere. They pull some miracles through, and top credits to these guys and their tools and their websites that they're building, and Kitty 411, Kitty Calc. Like, I was blown away when I saw those things for the first time, as I'm sure you guys were probably equally amazed, right?
I was awed. I was honored. One way. I was confused. I was excited. I was grateful. There's like a range of positive emotions that I put on my palate before eating that night.
That's funny. So first question that we have here that I'm also interested in is, could you give us a hint at how long have you been watching the stream?
I've been checking in and out all morning. Well, for a little bit. I've had I'm having a complicated day outside of everything to do with CryptoKitties. So
I bet, yeah.
Full adventures going, but that's the game.
Of course. Yeah, you got to have all the fun.
The
best things are always tough, man, right? Yeah, I hear you. Everyone in chat's excited to see you.
Woo! I could write some kitty limericks for them or something.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Did he invent the cats?
Good question.
So I spent lots of time thinking about sort of consumer experiences on the internet, often mobile. I work at Axiom Zen. Axiom Zen's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Axiom Zen came to me and said, Mac, the blockchain is it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's gonna blow you away. And I was like, really? Honestly, that was my response. I was like, but okay. They're like, you got to stop making like disappearing messaging apps and whatever you're doing, and you gotta think about this blockchain and how we bring this to 1 billion people. So I did. And to be honest, at the time, I'd seen CryptoPunks. I love CryptoPunks. I hope you guys all know how awesome they are. There's so many cool things in this space, but those guys are pioneers.
Yes, I agree.
Because I'm doing all this consumer stuff, I honestly had this active hypothesis, which sounds like a joke, but I was serious, and it was, you should not explain why you are using cats in your consumer product. You should explain why you are not. Like, it's an opt-in, not an opt-in thing.
Right.
And I've made games on and off for sort of 10 years now. I used to work at EA and that kind of thing. And the breeding mechanic thing, I like that. I like that a lot. So I was the person who wrapped on kind of all those threads together, and then was like, oh, this might be interesting. And I remember I brought 2 engineers into a room, and I was like, we're gonna put cats on the blockchain.
Yes. What an idea, dude.
They honestly looked at me, and then I don't know if I'm supposed to curse on here or whatever, but they were like,
Yeah.
I don't actually know what that means, but the thing about Axiom Zen is there's so many absurdly talented people here that if I plant a little seed like that,
right.
I mean, who cares who planted the seed? What's interesting is who watered that thing every day, who trimmed it, who did all the things that make that turn into an oak tree.
Oh, I love that. Hell yeah.
What I want to do is make sure, if you're into sort of game design, which historically I might have been inclined towards, then you understand these concepts, or at least you're familiar with these concepts of player archetypes. And there's different people who do things for different reasons. I really like chess. I really like Street Fighter. And
nice.
Maybe I really like Catan. I don't actually, but let's pretend I like all those things.
Sure.
There's different reasons that I like those things, and different people, right, have got a different set of compositions as to what they like about those different things. So we want to make sure that CryptoKitties is good for all sorts of different kinds of people. Like, I've always, the example before we started that I always said was, these fancies are amazing. I love the fancies, but there's so many other cats as well. I want there to be a group of Batman fans, people like who hate Marvel, who think Spider-Man's a jerk, Peter Parker's a joke. I want them to collect cats that look like Batman villains. Like the Joker cat, it's really easy to imagine. The Penguin cat, and for there to be this weird little niche subreddit about people who just want like Batman villain cats.
Right.
So good. But that's not everybody's archetype. That's what I think is super fun and interesting. Other people just want to try and flip things, and they love the spreadsheets. Other people like chasing fancies. So I don't think that I personally have a good enough sense on the different motivations of why different people play this. So that's something that I need to work through, and we as a team need to work through.
Do you have any input on when the mobile app will be released in America? Surprise.
Yeah, I think that man, I promise you that there's nobody more excited about that on this earth than me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do everything in my power to make that move quickly. The nature of launching a mobile app in a ecosystem is that you have to get buy-in from a certain number of partners along the way. And that's exciting, and I can't wait till that moment has actualized and we're all good.
All right, awesome. The Joker cat, just mentioning that, I really want that now.
Right? I've got that one in my head, and a lot of people here probably know that I don't own any cats. I can't buy cats. I can't breed cats. My wife doesn't have any. Even my kids don't have any.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, we just like, it's easier to be clean. My dad has some. My dad is adorable. He has some. But
that's cool.
Joker cat, man, if I could breed, oh my God, the Batman villains I would do, it would be the best. And like Care Bears, why haven't we made Care Bear cats? Also, seriously, He-Man. Somebody needs to make He-Man. Somebody needs to make Skeletor. Somebody needs to make the Sorceress. And like, you remember Hordak, the bad guy from She-Ra, who was actually like Skeletor was his little grunt.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about being able to search a little bit better, but I'll let the questions kind of ask in their own way.
I wish I could show you guys the amazing things that I know about search that are coming. Like,
yes,
you have to go grab a computer and just run by the screen or whatever.
Right?
Because search needs to be gooder, and it's getting gooder. It's getting much gooder.
Well, that's exciting to hear. That was one of the things that I struggled with earlier on. I noticed also that there's
is discovery, right? Like search is when you say, hey, I know what I'm looking for, or I have a concept of what I'm looking for. And there's so video games can be hard for two reasons. One, because what you're supposed to do is hard, like to understand that. The other one though is that because you know what you're supposed to do, but the controls are bad or sloppy.
Right.
Like that's where we are with search. With our search, it's like trying to jump in Mario, but it's delayed by half a second. It just doesn't feel right. It's not good enough,
I got you.
We're going to fix search, but discovery, this concept of like, you don't know what you're looking for, but there's some cool stuff out there that would probably resonate with you, that would mean a lot to you. We got to figure out how to do that too.
This was an idea that was brought back a while ago. And that is the idea of a kitty sink. And I guess what people were really trying to get is like the ability to continue playing without like some type of tunnel where they would get some value back to continue. And so the basis is they want to keep going with it without being like maximizing the risk that they're just going to go broke with it. But I can't imagine myself, I'm not in your shoes, but like that seems like one of the hardest things to try to put in without hurting, value or, I'm sure you guys have had these discussions before.
We talk a lot about it, and I'll be totally honest, the elegant answer is not clear to me. There's, one thing is where we don't know a problem exists, and another thing is where we know where a problem exists, but don't know what the solution to that problem is.
Gotcha.
And I feel like that falls into that second category, which that's what I think. So I've decided that I am a internet hipster, and here's why. Because my favorite website, besides CryptoKitties, my favorite website is still Wikipedia, because Wikipedia makes no sense. Like every economist in the history of the economic, tradition can continue to not explain Wikipedia. And then now in the age of social, they're like, oh, but people get social validation and thumbs up and likes or whatever, all that. But you don't. Like the number of people who edit Wikipedia, who get credit for editing Wikipedia outside of the smallest circles of Wikipedia editors is nearly none. It doesn't make sense. And yet it's true and real and beautiful. And I know it's like 20 years old now or 15 years old or whatever it is. And now I can say I love Uber, I love Tinder or something. Whatever. Wikipedia is the weirdest, most interesting, greatest. And still I would say the flashlight into the future. Communities like bubble up around this. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. So there's a museum that bought a bunch of these and is doing a real exhibit with it. I don't know how much I'm supposed to talk about that, but that is very cool, interesting. I don't know how many of you guys know about Bella, but you guys will probably hear about Bella today. Bella's the best. Bella is a girl who plays CryptoKitties with her dad. and
nice.
they really love it, and they are going to do some good with their CryptoKitties. They're going to make something that matters out of it, which is awesome. Way back in the beginning, the dude Nick, he got one of the bug cats and sold it for like a bunch of money to buy cows for people who really need cows. I think there's so much room because these cats can be personally meaningful,
right,
as well as financially meaningful. I think there's so many different ways for different communities to latch onto them and to create value and to auction them off, and like that's very, very interesting. This non-fungible nature of the 721 token. And you know, my kids drawing these damn things is still probably my favorite part of this. Like I go home, I have some pretty long days, I'll be honest. And I go home and my kids, I'm putting them to bed, and they just like their thing is to invent new CryptoKitties. They're like, when are you gonna do zombie Skeletor on fire armadillo cat? I'm like, we're working on that one. But it's really cool to see them latch into it and for this to mean something to them. It's fun.
Confirmed Skeletor cat coming? Is that what we just heard?
I said nothing. I'm not.
I'm just messing with you. I'm heavily interested in implementing VR streams. So trying to do some type of VR stream where you guys can follow me in the VR world. Do you guys have any plans maybe to put CryptoKitties into VR games or VR systems? I heard you're involved like with working in like the VR technology, like on a personal kick.
Yeah, so I drank deeply from the VR mug a while back, and at this point, my opinion is that VR is going to change the world.
Yes.
In a time frame measured in decades.
Yeah.
And I'm not really on the decade thing right now. I like to think about kind of like 1 year and 100 years, and in between, I'm just blurring my eyes, squinting, you know.
Okay.
So I think AR is super interesting. I think VR is super interesting. What we need is I need like a little 3D cat. I'm gonna get a 3D cat with a little animation cycle walking around, so we can start playing with it, and having fun with it, and seeing what we should do. I mean, ultimately, right? What I would love is for somebody else to come along and say, I'm really good at AR, we're really good at VR, whatever the story is, and we do something fun and interesting, and we've expanded the dimensions of the cats and the sort of space and scope of the cat play space. That's all fun and weird, and what makes blockchain so interesting is that extensibility of it, right? Right. It's amazing. We have a bunch of people who've built a bunch that we love, but then we have a bunch of stuff that builds stuff we don't love, and there's not a damn thing we can do about it. And I actually like that. That is the world that we want to build. I want to live in a world where instead of saying like I'm putting gates up around what you can't do, I'm shining a lighthouse. I'm showing a path to what is good instead of blocking out what is bad. That is the world that we are talking about building with CryptoKitties. This is the world that we're trying to expose people to the potential of. And so that would be very, very cool. And I want the VR and the AR stuff to work the same way. I want somebody to come along, do something. To be honest, I'll probably be kind of pissed personally. Here on the stream, I'll be like, oh, that's great. And I'll only be pissed because they didn't do it quite right. I'll be like, oh, but why did you skip this? But that's how this happens. It's how we all, in the future we want to live in, is we're all building weird crap on top of each other's weird crap. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing when we're done.
Oh, dude, this is so real. These are good words to hear. Everyone in chat is loving this right now.
Good.
Have you ever played a collectible card game, and do you see a feature where CryptoKitty morphs into a collectible game? I would say it already is.
Like my OG collectible card game experience. So
yeah.
When the first Pokemon cards popped and became like a thing, I wasn't at a point where they were for me. Like I was too old or something, or just not smart enough to realize how incredible they were. But I had a cousin. She's 10 years younger than me, and she loved these things. So I lived in this like crappy little town, and I just lived in a little town, and in this town there's a little mall, and in the little mall they opened a dedicated Pokemon store. It's basically what you call a pop-up shop now. Like you could tell it was only gonna be there for 3 months. They just sold Pokemon cards.
Okay.
So I went in there, and I bought so many cards, like so many packs of cards, and then got the entire set. And of course I went in and bought some singles and filled out. And I filled out the binder. It was amazing. I printed this little index. I put it on the inside of the binder. I gave it to my cousin. She was my favorite cousin. I gave it to her for Christmas. And I literally ruined Pokemon for her. She never cared. Because when
No,
you pay
what?
somebody the treasure, they didn't get to go on the adventure. There's no point in like celebrating the treasure if you didn't slay some crocodiles on the way, you know?
Yeah.
So that, like, my first time playing a collectible card game was me utterly destroying a collectible card game. What I found more compelling than a lot of the card games was the toys. I really have this thing for the toys, and they aren't games in that they come with the rule set and statistics and all these other things, but this sense of completion. Oh man, Battle Beast, worth earth, wind, and fire on their chest, and you rub the hollow. Oh,
yeah. What would you say you'd like to see from us more, and what can we do to help the best that we can?
So the first thing is to, now kids, plug your ears. The first thing is to continue to give a and to tell us about that. Like, sometimes we fail at distorting the signal from the noise, and I promise you there's a lot of noise in what is being sent to us. But we need to do a better job of that. And the thing that matters most to me is that the people who love this keep loving it and keep telling us about it, and don't stop. Like, just keep, whether it's on Discord or Twitter. The other thing is there's some people who are on Discord who shouldn't be on Discord, like from our team, and the only reason they shouldn't be there is because they're there as fans, but they get treated like they have answers or know things that's going on. There's a little bit of a, I got to figure that part out. You guys got awesome. Like, whatever this thing is that you're doing, do it more. Oh my God, I'm getting kicked out.
Okay, all right, man. Well, have a good one. Thank you for coming on the stream. Thank you for giving us your insight to your mind and your thought process. You seem like a really cool person, and you got a lot of interesting stories. And thanks, chat, for asking some good questions.
I'm gonna come hang out later today sometime.
All right, for sure, dude. Have a good one, man.
Mack Flavelle later.
Yeah.